As a father with two children, the decision of who to vote for in the upcoming election is weighing heavily on my mind. In 2020, I cast my vote for Joe Biden, adhering to the principles of vote blue no matter who, something I deeply regret. Over the past 2 years, I've grown increasingly disillusioned with the Democratic Party's approach and their seeming disregard for the concerns that are affecting my family's future. Legislation and government agendas have appeared to be more focused on serving special interests rather than addressing the pressing issues that directly impact my children's prospects. Inflation is soaring, the housing market is out of control, and the economic disparity between the privileged few and the struggling many continues to widen. The American dream feels like an increasingly distant and unattainable ideal for an entire generation, including my own children. Faced with these challenges, I embarked on a quest to find a candidate who could offer genuine solutions without compromising the values that are important to me. I reluctantly turned my attention to the Republican Party debates, hoping to find a candidate capable of steering the ship in the right direction without sacrificing the principles that I hold dear. However, to my dismay, the field quickly narrowed, leaving Donald Trump as the sole contender. Despite my reservations about Trump's character and leadership style, I endeavored to objectively evaluate his policies and his accomplishments during his time in office. I will acknowledge there were positive aspects to Trump's tenure. This is not something that was new to me. I had already known that going into the 2020 election, and there were choices that I made to vote against him because, well, I didn't like him. I still don't. But there also were plenty of really bad things that happened during his tenure that I can't ignore either. And yes, that's sad to say, but even with all the bad, Biden's doing worse in my opinion. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. He's fallen short of even Trump. That's not some sort of endorsement of Trump. It's more of an indictment on Biden's performance and the low standards that are set by his administration. For me, the most glaring blemish on Trump's record is something I can't overlook: the events of January 6th. The assault on the Capitol represented a direct attack on the foundational principles of our democracy, particularly the peaceful transfer of power. As I watched in disbelief, I hoped for swift and decisive actions from the president to quell the violence and uphold the sanctity of our democratic institutions. Instead, Trump delayed his response, and his subsequent actions only exacerbated the situation, tarnishing the reputation of our nation on a world stage. The aftermath of January 6th serves as a stark reminder of the importance of presidential character and integrity. The reckless behavior and egotistical antics displayed by Trump not only undermined our democratic traditions, but also emboldened adversaries seeking to undermine Western democracy. For me, this incident alone disqualifies Trump from receiving my vote. While Biden's presidency has definitely fallen short in my eyes, I simply cannot, in good conscience, support a candidate who presided over such a damaging moment in our nation's history. Fortunately, there's somebody else to consider, and that someone is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. His integrity, intelligence, and commitment to standing up for the rights of ordinary citizens resonates deeply with me. In my extensive research and deliberation, I've found RFK Jr. to embody the qualities of honesty, courage, and advocacy that I seek in a leader. He isn't perfect, but he would be more than willing to admit that himself, and that is something that sets him apart. The stubborn egos of Biden and Trump would never allow them to admit to their inadequacies, but RFK Jr. is willing to look inside of himself and change, admit when he's wrong, even admit when his administration is wrong, and try to move forward to make the world better. His dedication to challenging corporate interests and prioritizing the needs of everyday Americans convinces me that he is the best choice for the future of our country. Ultimately, my decision to support Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the 2024 election is rooted in my desire for principled leadership, accountability, and a genuine commitment to the well-being of all citizens. As a father, I believe it's my responsibility to vote for a candidate who will strive to create a better future for my children and generations to come. RFK Jr. represents the hope and the change that our country desperately needs, and I'm proud to stand beside him.